Jets, all right? Maybe Lawan goes to the Jets, and maybe he's protecting the great Derek Carr, all right? So the Carrs and the Jets, it seems like this is a good matchmaking proposition here, right?
Well, if you're the Jets front office, you certainly believe so. That said, the Jets believe if Derek Carr comes to them, he can be a first ballot Hall of Famer. This is per Diana at Diana ESPN on Twitter. Very, very interesting, Goggin. Maybe their thought process is if he gets them gets them a Super Bowl title in New York City, he's a Hall of Famer, which I guess that makes sense, but I don't really understand why you would come out and say that. Do you have anything?
I like this a lot. Look, I know why. Because they haven't had a good quarterback since the great Mr. Butt Fumble himself, Mark Sanchez. All right. And I think you got to do what you can to get a quarterback in New York.
You do. You got to throw that out there. But if I'm Derek Carr, I don't understand why that's necessarily something leaked out to the media. It seems like they're sending that out there. I think it's getting a lot of reaction from Twitter and the media of kind of just laughter, I guess. I know the Jets probably think very highly of their roster, and they should. But if Derek Carr goes to the Jets, I don't think anyone is clamoring that they're a Super Bowl contender, next season. And this is coming from somebody who, this, Goggin, I'm very, very big on the New York Jets. I just can't. I don't think Derek Carr coming over there shifts momentum to them to make them a Super Bowl threat. I just do not see it.
But it can get them into the playoffs. And then once you're in the playoffs, it's fair game.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, I guess if you get into the dances where the Jets want to be, that is that's going to be a first round exit for them, and he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer if you're listening to the New York media.
Look, in life, aim for the moon, you end up in the stars. All right. Look, if they're aiming for Rodgers and you get Carr, that's still an upgrade from where they're at.
Okay, controversy time, Goggin. A little bit of controversy time on this one. Look, I get what you're saying, right? As of right now, as of today, it is. But we've seen Derek Carr essentially in his prime. I'd probably argue Derek Carr is either on the decline or just on what was still his prime, right? So we're going to go ahead and say that that's what it is, right? We've seen the best of Derek Carr, and the best of Derek Carr was a guy that almost was able to win MVP, but by the end of the season wasn't healthy enough to finish for his team, resulting in a first-round exit. That, to me, is not anywhere near what I would want as a starting franchise quarterback that I'm going to have to pay over $100 million to. And on top of it, we got to remember, the Jets have the opportunity to go out there and make a bigger move in an Aaron Rodgers, or go ahead and invest in a rookie, or go ahead and still see if they believe in Zach Wilson. So, Goggin, I'm not sure if I agree with you that it's necessarily a massive upgrade.
That's a fair take. I can see why you would say that. You're right. He's on the back end, right? He's maybe got 1-2 seasons tops. So I can see the risk, but at the end of the day, maybe Zach Wilson learns from him.
Well, Goggin, that's a great take, right? A good veteran leadership. But is veteran leadership worth over $100 million, dollars on a contract? And the other thing I wanted to add to this conversation, Goggin, and I honestly want your take on this.
Ask the 49ers that. They did it to Garoppolo.
Hey, not a bad argument. But Goggin, if you are Derek Carr and you're looking at this unbiasedly, I know he's burned that bridge with the Raiders. I know that he's not coming back. Are you going to try to spin this to me that there's more talent on that New York Jets offense than there is on that Raiders offense? Because he had playmakers galore on that Raiders offense, and they still weren't able to win games. I'm just not seeing what other people are seeing with Derek Carr.
You're spot on. All right, so here's the thing about Carr. Very intelligent, can throw a good ball, but you can tell that he's always got the throws predestined. He's got them pre-planned, and we can tell from some of these awful interceptions he's thrown. And you're right. I would think that he has less playmakers at the New York Jets, but he would also have a top 5 defense, which would probably help him out. The run game would be a setback for sure. So I think he'd struggle on the offensive end.
So if you're telling me that the Jets are going to get a quarterback that's going to likely struggle on the offensive side of the football. I ask you, what is any difference than they've already faced? With Zach Wilson and Mike White over there and Joe Flacco, like it's no different than what they've already been facing. And so, $100 million, that eats at the salary cap. That allows you to no longer add to that defense, keep building that defense, and really try to compete with the elite inside of your conference and your division.
That's fair. I think if you're the Jets, just go ahead and draft a rookie. All right, look at this quarterback draft. Look, how about this? You have Zach Wilson. Why not get a guy of equal size and throws a good ball? Let's get Jake Haener. Jake Haener to the Jets, great value play. All right, and
look, Goggin.
Yeah.
Goggin, you literally read my mind in terms of what you're saying right now and drafting. Look, you may not want to draft him in round 1 or 2, but there are so many. We talked about this. So many quarterbacks in this draft that have boom or bust level potential. If this front office is not willing to admit that Zach Wilson is a mistake yet, which it seems like they're not willing to do by keeping him on the roster, by saying they do want to go back to him, then just go draft one, right? You're already saying it. Jake Haener is a perfect fit. He's got that maturity level already coming out of college. His numbers are fantastic. Can you imagine if your quarterback room next season was somewhere of maybe a Zach Wilson, maybe a Haener, and then if you could go and get somebody that's maybe like a Taylor Heineke? I mean, that's give you the same amount of wins, in my opinion, that Derek Carr brings, and you're going to be saving how much, $20 million in cap next season? Come on.
Look, that sounds like the Fort and Goggin boys club right there. You said Taylor Heineke, you had me sold. Jake Haener, you had me sold. And Zach Wilson, I mean, that's your guy, but we can get him out of there, put him third on the depth chart.
QB3, baby. We could.
Yeah, I mean, look, and you mentioned veteran leadership, right? Look, if you want someone old and wise, why not go after the great Stetson Bennett? All right? Look, he wins. Let's throw Stetson in New York. Why not? You can probably get him in the 4th round, maybe even the 3rd round. Yeah, let's do it.
And like what people don't really realize is like this Jets defense is so good. You honestly just need a quarterback that can put up 20 a game, right? Like we're not asking for a lot. If you go back and you look at the Jets games this year, their offense couldn't put up single points up until that 4th quarter other than a field goal maybe. So it is important to realize a Stetson Bennett, a Haener, perhaps we even look at, if they want to go and draft a quarterback, it's not like they don't have draft capital. I mean, they want to invest in a first rounder. This would be the year to do it. It's a deep class. I think you've spoken it into existence. I'm all on the Jets need to draft a quarterback train.
The other part I also got to touch on, look, they have the 13th pick. You could go quarterback if a C.J. Stroud or a Richardson somehow drops right there. I don't see it happening, but it's always a possibility. Look, 2nd round, 43rd pick. Yeah, look, this is a defensive team. For some reason, they'll probably go defense in the first 3 rounds, which means you can still nab possibly a Hendon Hooker, right? 3rd, 4th round as well. Look, there's a lot of quarterbacks here you can't really go wrong taking multiple quarterbacks here. Look, we've seen the Washington Commanders do it before, right? With RG3 Kirk. That turned out great. Why not? Why not take just a couple quarterbacks at the later rounds? So look at the Niners. They did it last year and completely hit a jackpot, right? That reminds me of, you're in Vegas, you got a few pennies left, you're playing penny slots, and you just keep playing. You got to finish the last beverage of the night. And you win, and ching, 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 right? And there you are, out for another few hours.
Oh, man. Well, look, I think first off, I got to say, man, that ching, 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 ching was fantastic. That is the same noise of a defensive player that actually just got franchise tagged. No, look, to go back to the Jets real quick, I think we did a great job in saying where we think they should go. We're obviously going to follow this throughout the offseason, Goggin. But obviously we're on team draft a quarterback if you're the Jets. Don't go and overpay for Derek Carr. It's not necessarily going to net you more wins on the Goggin and 4 win predictometer. All right. But what I will say is, Goggin, when it comes down to it,
Wait, predictometer.
Hey,
predicting the next month?
Man, it's right up there with your missed opportunity points, man. Your MOPs.
Fair enough.
Don't hate on the name yet. Well, it's a work in progress, man. Okay. All right, Goggin, we're going to move on because I think we just spent 20 minutes talking about Derek Carr.